This is Mr. Eugene, and today we're looking at a trend that China has formally identified and labeled, but which is present in every developed country. They term these individuals left behind women, women in their late 20s and older who are unmarried, childless, and finding fewer realistic opportunities to change that status. This isn't a minor statistical blip. It's a large segment of a generation who followed the path society laid out: education, career, independence, only to learn, often too late, that this path didn't account for biological realities that don't align with career plans or personal beliefs. China is deeply concerned. Their population is shrinking at an alarming pace. Certain projections indicate they are missing out on what would amount to 100 million people annually when considering births that aren't occurring. Some analysts believe official figures downplay the severity, as admitting the full extent would mean acknowledging that specific policies and cultural changes have led to a demographic downturn. When India surpassed them as the world's most populous country, it wasn't merely a data point. For a nation that has partly based its identity on its population size, it was seen as a significant blow. Before we explore this further, let me explain why this issue extends beyond population charts and why I'm choosing to address what many see as a difficult truth concerning fertility and life planning. I've observed this unfold personally. I've spoken with women in their mid to late 30s who followed all of society's guidance. They earned their degrees, built their careers, gained their independence, only to eventually realize that the family they always thought would come later might not happen. Not because they decided against it, but because they were led to believe they had more time than biology truly allows. The pain is genuine. These aren't women who never desired families. They are women who did want families, but were advised they could achieve everything, just not all at once. They then found that later arrived before they were prepared. I've seen the sorrow, the frustration at being misguided, the urgent efforts to compensate for lost time that often don't succeed because biology isn't influenced by professional success or social ideals. I'm weary of seeing women face the results of guidance that overlooked biological facts in favor of ideological narratives. So, if you're expecting me to praise delayed motherhood as inherently empowering or to suggest fertility timelines are flexible social ideas, this isn't the right discussion. This is about biological facts that exist independently of ideology. Disregarding them has resulted in a generation of women confronting outcomes they weren't prepared for. Stay with me. Today, we're exploring how this situation for some women came to be, what it signifies for society, and what younger women might need to know before making choices that can't be undone. The biological facts often overlooked. Let's begin with information that was once widely understood but has somehow become contentious to mention. Female fertility operates within a time frame, a specific, fixed, biologically set period that is most favorable in the late teens and 20s and gradually becomes less so after that. When my former spouse and I had our youngest daughter, she was 36. That pregnancy was categorized as higher risk, specifically due to her age. Typically, once past the early 30s, medical professionals monitor pregnancies more closely because of greater potential for complications. This isn't a societal idea, it's a medical standpoint based on long-term evidence. Certainly, some women experience healthy pregnancies in their 40s and a very few with significant medical help in their 50s, but these are outliers, not the standard, and they increasingly rely on medical technology that offers no certainty. Here's what's crucial to grasp. Women are born with a finite number of egg cells. They don't renew. They age as you do. The egg cells of a 35-year-old woman are 35 years old. Those of a 40-year-old are 40 years old. This aging correlates with notably higher chances of challenges conceiving, miscarriages, chromosomal variations, certain birth conditions, and health risks for the mother. The most favorable period for fertility, when conception is typically easiest, pregnancy is safest, and outcomes for mother and child are statistically best, is generally between the late teens and age 30. That is the biological reality. During these years, fertility is at its highest, complication risks are lowest, and if multiple children are desired, there is more time to have them. After 30, this window gradually narrows, not shut, but perceptibly. Fertility tends to decrease, risks tend to rise. After 35, the decline becomes more pronounced. After 40, natural conception becomes statistically improbable for many without medical assistance. And here's an element rarely discussed. General health today is often poorer than decades ago. Obesity is widespread. Metabolic issues are common. Environmental pollutants are pervasive. Chronic stress is frequent. These factors can intensify age-related fertility reduction. A woman who might have conceived without difficulty at 35 in 1970 could face challenges at 35 today due to differing baseline health status. This isn't a viewpoint, this isn't prejudice, it's biology, and biology doesn't adjust for career goals, personal beliefs, or social pressures. It simply exists. The prevailing narrative that overlooked biology. So what occurred? How did we reach this point? By promoting a life blueprint that intentionally omitted biological reality to serve particular social goals. A common narrative developed. You can have it all. You don't need to choose between career and family. You don't need to rely on a partner. Get your education, establish your career, secure your independence. Then, when you're ready, financially stable, emotionally settled, professionally secure, then you can consider family. You have time. Don't let anyone rush you into motherhood before you're prepared. Your 20s are for personal growth. This blueprint sounds liberating. It sounds like it expands choices, but it's founded on an inaccurate assumption. The assumption that fertility is boundless, that biology will wait for career readiness, that 35 is reproductively similar to 25. So many women followed this blueprint. They attended college, 4 years. Many pursued graduate degrees, adding 2 or more years. Now they're 25 or 26, starting their careers. They spend their late 20s building professional standing, gaining experience, developing skills. By 30, they're often reaching more stable, better compensated roles, ones requiring several years of experience. Now they're 30, 32, professionally established, financially stable, and they look for the family they always thought would come later and encounter several issues. Issue 1. The fertility window is narrowing. They are at an age where conception often becomes more challenging, risks are higher, and having multiple children grows less likely. The ample time they were assured of is largely diminished. Issue 2. The pool of potential partners has often changed. Men around their age may be already in committed relationships, may be interested in women of different ages, or may have chosen not to pursue marriage after observing complex relationship outcomes. Many men who desired families partnered earlier with women who also prioritized that. What remains can be a mix of men not seeking commitment or those with differing life goals. Issue 3. Social and economic dynamics can complicate dating. Some women find their educational and career achievements, while positives, can intersect with complex social patterns regarding partnership, attraction, and status. Some men they might meet may feel insecure, or they may seek partners whose life stage aligns differently. Issue 4. Stepping back from a career investment feels significant. After 6 to 10 years and potentially substantial financial investment in education and career building, reaching a payoff point makes shifting focus to family feel like a major trade-off. So they continue. They believe they'll find a balance, they'll manage both, and time passes. 32 becomes 35, becomes 38. And the fertility window that was narrowing is now nearly closed, and the family they always assumed would happen later is now statistically less likely without substantial, uncertain medical intervention. The timeline challenge. Let's walk through the timeline more concretely, because the difficulty is in the progression. Ages 18 to 22, university, bachelor's degree. Romantic relationships aren't focused on long-term family planning, as emphasis is on education. Career preparation is the priority. Ages 22 to 26, many pursue further education, masters, sometimes doctorates. The guidance remains to focus on professional development, with relationships as secondary. The belief in having ample time for family later persists. Ages 26 to 30, beginning professional roles, building a resume, gaining experience. Dating may occur, but not always with serious family intent, as establishing a career and maintaining geographic flexibility may feel paramount. Ages 30 to 33, often reaching more established professional positions, ones requiring several years of experience, starting to think more seriously about relationships and family. But many potential partners in similar age ranges may already be in committed relationships. Ages 33 to 36, a growing sense of urgency can set in regarding family plans. Every pregnancy announcement can heighten awareness of time. Dating can feel more pressured, which sometimes hinders organic connection. There's an attempt to accelerate relationship timelines into a window that is already narrowing. Ages 36 to 40. For many, this is a pivotal period. If not already pregnant or actively trying with a partner, having a family naturally becomes less probable. Options like IVF, egg freezing, or adoption are considered. These may not match the initial vision of family, leading to a process of adjustment and, for some, grief. The challenge is that each stage seems sensible on its own. Of course, you should complete your education. Of course, you should build career foundations. Of course, you shouldn't enter unsatisfying relationships just due to a biological clock. Each choice seems rational, but the combined effect, the time each phase consumes, passes through the prime fertility years before it's fully realized. The shift in partnership dynamics. But it's not only female biology and career paths contributing to this. Social dynamics around partnership have also shifted, compounding the situation. Some men are increasingly cautious about marriage. They may have seen family or friends navigate difficult separations involving complex financial and emotional consequences. They may perceive the legal and social frameworks around marriage as carrying significant risk. Consequently, some men who could be committed partners are making careful assessments. The traditional exchange, providing and protecting in return for loyalty and family, is viewed by some as less certain. Now, they may provide and protect and still face significant potential loss if the relationship ends, within systems they perceive as unfavorable. Result: some men who might have been interested in marriage and family are choosing different paths. The pool of individuals actively seeking marriage may be affected. The men willing to commit might include those with different priorities or those less aware of perceived risks. Some men that some women are interested in may already be partnered or may be enjoying single life without plans to change. This means women in their 30s are not only considering biology and career, they are navigating a social landscape where the partnership prospects they seek may be less available or seeking different things. The broader implications. So we have a generation, possibly two, of women, often in their mid to late 30s and beyond, who envisioned families but may not have them, either because the fertility window passed, because finding a compatible partner proved difficult, or because by the time a partner was found, biological challenges arose. This creates wider effects. For individuals, significant emotional impact. These women followed the guidance they received. They did what they were told was correct according to prevailing social messages, and they faced the results of advice that didn't incorporate biological limits. Many process the loss of a future they anticipated. Some feel frustration toward narratives that suggested they had more time. For families formed later, if a woman has a child at 35 or 38, both parents are often working. Both have careers demanding time. Childcare often involves external support, daycare, nannies. The child may be primarily cared for by others while parents work to maintain a lifestyle in often expensive urban areas. Is this the family structure envisioned, or is it an outcome of particular planning and priorities? For demographics, birth rates decline. China is worried about this. Japan has experienced it for years. South Korea's birth rate is extremely low. Western nations are mostly below replacement level. When childbearing is delayed into the 30s, women generally have fewer children overall. Biology limits family size when starting later, often 1 or 2 instead of 3 or 4, and some have none. Population structures change. Older populations grow relative to younger ones. Economic models based on growth face strain. For culture, a large group of childless adults changes societal priorities. Adults without children may have different political focuses, spending habits, and life views than those with children. Society can become more focused on individual fulfillment, potentially less invested in long-term communal futures. And some childless women, those who desired families but didn't have them, may feel discontent, directing frustration at various social factors. The honest assessment, often unspoken. Here's what younger women might benefit from understanding. Trade-offs are real. Not everything can be optimized at the same time, and there are costs to sequencing. If you want a family, if having children is important to you, considering that during your most fertile years is practical. That might mean in your early to mid-20s. That might mean considering how certain career choices, for example, extensive travel, 80-hour weeks, align with family goals. That might mean evaluating partners and commitment before professional life is fully settled. This doesn't mean you can't have a career. It means you might not build the exact career you would if family were not a priority. It means compromises. It means sacrifices. It means accepting that you can't maximize everything at once. If you prioritize career in your 20s, if you spend that decade on education and professional establishment, you're using your peak fertility years on pursuits that don't have the same biological expiration. Your career will likely still be there at 35. Your fertility will not be the same. You are assuming you can establish family later, and for a growing number of women, that assumption proves incorrect. The idea that you can have it all, career and family, just not simultaneously, is theoretically possible but practically difficult. Yes, you can have both, but if you sequence them as career first, family later, biology may make later very hard or impossible. You are betting on later being feasible, and for many, it is not. Considerations for women. If you're a younger woman contemplating your path, here are points to ponder. Clarify your priorities. Do you truly want children? Not maybe someday. Do you want them? If yes, that should be a primary factor in major life decisions in your 20s. If no, then career focus makes sense. But be honest with yourself. Don't tell yourself maybe later and then discover at 38 that later is biologically unlikely. Understand the biological timeline. Peak fertility is in your 20s. After 30, it gradually declines. After 35, the decline becomes more significant. After 40, natural conception is statistically low. You have a finite period of optimal fertility. How you use those years influences whether family is a practical option. Evaluate societal messages critically. Society sometimes minimizes biological timing. Media, academic settings, corporate cultures, they may have incentives to keep you focused on education, career, and consumption. They may not prioritize your fertility or family goals. Make decisions based on your own values, not solely on external pressures. Consider partnership timing if family matters. If family is a goal, seriously evaluating potential partners in your early to mid-20s, not mid-30s, can be wise. Many people seeking family partner earlier. By 30, the pool of single individuals also seeking family may be smaller. Don't spend your most fertile years in relationships that don't align with your family goals, if that is a priority. Acknowledge that trade-offs are inevitable. You cannot fully optimize career and family at the same time.
something gives. If you prioritize career in your 20s, you may sacrifice optimal family timing. If you prioritize family in your 20s, you may sacrifice certain career trajectories. Choose consciously. Don't assume you can have both without cost. Consider childcare realities. If you have children at 35 while maintaining a demanding career, your child will likely need significant external care. Is that acceptable to you? If not, then planning for a parent to reduce work hours might be necessary. If you're not willing to do that, honestly assess whether children fit your lifestyle priorities. A note for men. Men might also understand this dynamic as these social patterns affect everyone. Understand the influences on women's choices. Many women have been influenced by narratives that encouraged delaying family. Many genuinely believed they had more time. They aren't necessarily making poor choices intentionally. They may be acting on widespread advice. But that doesn't mean men must accept situations that don't align with their own goals. Seek partnerships with shared goals. If a woman is 35 and now seeks a partner quickly for family, ensure your goals and values genuinely align and that you're not merely a pragmatic choice after other plans didn't materialize. You deserve a partnership based on mutual respect and shared vision. Age and partnership are personal. If you're 35 and want a family, women at your age may be in a different life stage regarding fertility. Some men find partners of different ages. Society may comment on age differences, but personal compatibility and shared goals are paramount. Seek clear partnerships. If a partner is career-focused, traditional relationship divisions may not apply. Expectations should be clear about responsibilities, finances, and family roles to ensure mutual satisfaction. We are moving toward demographic challenges across the developed world. Birth rates are below replacement in many nations. Populations are aging. Economic systems designed for growth are facing new realities. The situation of some women not having the families they desired is part of this. Many women who could have had families aren't having them because they were advised to prioritize career and independence first. Many men are cautious about marriage and family due to perceived risks. Society will need to address this, either by recognizing biological realities and adjusting cultural messaging to support informed choices, or by facing the consequences of aging populations and economic adjustments. China is concerned because they foresee the impacts. They are attempting to encourage higher birth rates. But reversing decades of social change is complex. Many women believed they had time. Now, for some, it's too late. Some Western nations are still framing delayed motherhood solely as empowerment, still downplaying biological factors, still encouraging career-first approaches without full context. The demographic effects will become apparent. It's a matter of time. Final thoughts. Let me explain why I'm addressing this, knowing it may be unpopular, knowing it may challenge beliefs some hold dear. Because I've seen too many women face the outcomes of advice that overlooked biology. I've spoken with women in their late 30s who are heartbroken that family may not happen, who are frustrated at being misinformed, who wish someone had explained fertility timelines honestly when they were 22 instead of 38. I've seen women follow the expected path perfectly, degree, career, independence, and find themselves at 40 without the family they assumed would come. And the sorrow is real, and the frustration at being given incomplete information is understandable. This channel exists because I grew tired of seeing people suffer the consequences of ideological advice that ignored reality. I grew tired of women being told they had unlimited time. I grew tired of fertility facts being treated as taboo. So if you're a younger woman making life decisions, please understand, fertility has a time frame. It's real, it's biological. It doesn't align perfectly with career plans or personal beliefs. How you navigate that time frame influences whether family is a realistic option later.
If family matters to you, if having children is important, consider prioritizing it during your most fertile years. Don't assume you'll have time later. Later might not be as feasible. Share your thoughts if you've observed these patterns. If you know women who wish they had prioritized family earlier, if you are a woman who made different choices and are content with your path, share your perspective so others can hear varied experiences. Subscribe for more discussions about realities that society sometimes overlooks, because this channel will not suggest that biology is purely a social construct. We will not pretend fertility is limitless. We will not encourage you to risk your childbearing years on narratives that omit key facts. The situation facing some women is real, it's expanding, and the only way forward is through honest information about biology before another generation makes decisions they can't change.